All right, so I wanted to make this video for a while now, and I saw something on Facebook the other day that resonated that I uh, made it more clear that I should make this video to continue helping others the best I can. So the caption on Facebook said, don't if you've never had these food cravings and da da da, then don't talk to me about weight loss. I'm like, oh, that is me, that was me, whatever. So a lot of the advice I've given isn't just from the standpoint of someone that's always been fit and always been healthy, um, and then is trying to tell someone how to lose weight, because I went from fit to fat to fit again. That's why the name of this video is fit to fat to fit, because that story when you're going from an unhealthy version of yourself to a healthy version of yourself does take a lot of different factors to come together for you to kind of get back into fitness again. Whether you are the first time you're being healthy in your life, or maybe you were healthy back in the day, became unhealthy and then healthy again, like myself. So I was motivated to start this video because I do have that advice. I've done it. I've done the work. Not everyone that has a personal training certification or coaches or anything like that always has that story. So it makes my story a little more helpful, I hope, for you guys, especially for the maybe the ex-military, all the dads out there, stuff like that. So let's go over kind of where I was, where I went to, and then where I got to in my story for you. So back in high school, and even before that, I was on track. I did football. I was in the rec league, basketball and baseball teams and stuff like that. Um, and I was always a good athlete, not a great athlete for sure, but definitely a good athlete. I would put the work in. Um, there's things I wish I did better back then, but you live and learn, whatever. Um, but those are things that I did well. I was a good athlete. A lot of things that I didn't do back then, even when I was in my healthier standpoint, so was eat great. Okay, that contributed to my factors after the Marines. We'll get to that part of the story soon. So, I ate what was given to me in high school because that's how it works when you're growing up, especially in the pre 2000 sort of time frame. Um, and we ate good. We didn't like super healthy, but not super bad though either. But I ate what was given to me. My first real job, other than like delivering newspapers, was at Wendy's. So what did I eat there? Wendy's. Um, and then I went to TGI Fridays, and you have a shift meal, and what did I eat there? TGI Fridays, burgers and fries and stuff like that. But why did it? Here's a factor that contributed to where I went from fitness to fat to fit again, because I was staying fit. Because this is, I didn't have kids. I was 18, and I was, you know, always on my feet moving. I was still working out even after high school. Before the Marines, there was a 6 month gap between high school and the Marines, and I was still working out but still working. But those factors didn't allow me to eat better because I said, oh, why does it matter? I'm burning it all off. It's okay. I know we're going to get to the point of today's nutrition knowledge of that's not how it works, and that's why I got real out of shape, of course. But when you're 18, you can eat Wendy's somewhat, and then I I was in my feet all the time. I was working out. I always did a good cardio session before, and then also a good lifting session, stuff like that. So all those factors allowed me to eat like crap and still be in decent shape. Again, good shape. I wasn't in great shape, okay, the whole time. But that's where it all snowballs together for you. Fast forward to the Marine Corps. I was definitely eating kind of what I wanted to most of the time. I would be out, with the boys having some beers. Um, and definitely ate pretty bad most of the time because, again, I was a good Marine, if not even almost a great Marine, as far as physical standards go. Um, the adage goes, you can't outlift a bad diet. Well, you can in the Marines apparently because I ate terrible, but I was always, I was never overweight in the Marines. I kept my body standards within regulations. My PFT scores were 285 and higher out of 300. So again, why change? That's the mindset I had back then, of course. I wish I knew differently. But I would eat like crap. I would just eat how I wanted to because it didn't matter. All I would do is just keep working out. I was staying in shape, and I'm like, well, why change when I'm fine? So of course, you keep those bad habits going. Fast forward to my first year out of the Marines, I kept those habits going. I ate a lot, and then uh, I go to the bars with my buddies that I haven't seen for a few years because I was in the Marines for 5 years. Come home and catching up now, seeing old friends and stuff like that, and before you know it, it's a regular weekend thing. Hitting the bar, college all week, work, and then I hit the gym still mostly. Um, I stayed in pretty good shape though, but keep in mind this is my early 20s. Um, and then one problem with the Marines is you think that you're invincible because you have all this time that you went to Iraq and Afghanistan like myself, and then you were um, you came back home, so you almost feel invincible sometimes, right? Especially when you first get out, you're still real cocky and having fun. Well, those beers and all that food, but still working out, haven't really started taking effect too bad yet. So fast forward a couple of years, I was finishing college, and my now wife and I were uh, having our first child. Three more to go after that, but for a while, just I was enjoying the dad life, and then like probably the first year or two my kid was born, my oldest, I decided to buy a home brewing kit and fell in love with home brewing. And if you know anything about craft beer, it's not like a Miller Lite at like 3%, whatever that was, and like 98 calories or something. It's 7%, and it's 200, 300 calories. If you have three or four of those, do the math. All of a sudden, you're over 1,000 calories for the day on beer alone, and then have a little snack with that too. Why not to wash it down? So you know, this would go on for a few years, and then at one point, I wanted to open a brewery so bad. I even had the plans mapped out and everything. Well, fast forward to it didn't happen. That's a good thing for my current status, of course, of stopping drinking. But if you would have told me back then that I was going to stop drinking one day and not open a brewery, and here I am, I would have been like, no, that's not the right guy. So all that accumulated to now let's back up again a little bit. I was starting to add a little more weight with the craft beer days for sure, and kind of quickly. Um, I just kept it going, and before you know it, I'm packing on the pounds, and all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I have a little gut here going on. Well, then work got busier and stuff like that, and the workout started to kind of slip away. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of what happened. And I would, a brew day on a weekend almost takes all day because it takes a while to heat the water up. You got to do this mashing, and then you have to boil, then you have to clean up. So like, when did I work out? I didn't because I was spending all day doing that. And then when the beer is done, you have to keg it, and that's a good couple-hour process sometimes. It's a lot of work you put into for your beer. That what are you gonna do when you're done? You're gonna sit down and drink the beer, and then you're gonna stay sitting down until you get up to get another one and sit down again. Point is, I'm sitting there drinking beer, eating snacks, and it's adding up little by little. Looking at pictures for myself from several years ago, well, you can see that adding up, and um, just quite frankly, we were just not staying in shape. The wife and I, both of us, especially me. Worse, I was probably definitely being worse. Um, Still kind of eating bad too. Okay, no, we weren't eating terrible. Um, we could have done better, but we weren't eating like that bad though. It's not like we were eating cake every night or something. But still, adding weight, not you know taking care of ourselves the best we could. Fast forward a couple of years, I finally started to lose a little more weight. Uh, and I'd take off 10 pounds, put it back on, take off 10 pounds, put it back on. So for years, I really wasn't doing the right things for myself, and it definitely was showing. And one day, we watched. I got inspired by one show on Netflix, kind of a hypocrite sort of move here because we were sitting down and watching this whole thing. It's the Blue Zone show. It's a documentary about blue zones in the world where uh, six highlighted areas were highlighted for the most centenarians, or people that live over 100, due to healthy eating, good and just good overall healthy habits around. Love the show. It kind of changed my life, just to be honest. I ended up buying a couple books afterwards that were related, and it all went up from there. Of like things I didn't really realize I was doing, like I guess I should have looking back, but you always hear like, oh, stop eating the processed foods. And I was always like, okay, it's fine. It's just moderation, right? No, um, I kept pounding down foods that I shouldn't have been eating for years. Well, these books kind of turned me on to no, this is what's doing to your body, and you should stop. One of those books was Outlived by Peter Attia. This is before I found out he was related to the Epstein files, of course, but that's a different story. And then Young Forever by Mark Hyman, I think his name is. Very good informational books about how to take better care of yourself and what the bad food is doing to you. That, and then also some of the markers that they can you can test now uh, on longevity that will indicate how well you can live throughout your life. And I'm like, and it kind of opened my eyes of like, oh, I haven't been doing these things, and like here I am thinking like, man, I'm gonna die at 70 or 80 if I don't take care of this now. So that as I'm reading these books, I'm like, I need to stop reading these books and kind of get to it. So that's what I did. I got to work, started chopping off things off my diet little by little, little by little. And I added more habits, more and more. Okay, I started making sure I was working out better again, and before you know, I invested in a better home gym type stuff. Not always necessary, by the way, to have a great body, but it was one thing I did to kind of help motivate myself and reward myself to keep going. It has worked out with that investment quite a bit. Um, Next, I added more healthy habits. Before you know it, all in there sometime, I quit drinking, and before you know it, I'm starting to drop more weight. I'm like, oh wow, this is really kind of coming together. Sort of the rich gets richer sort of thing, because the more you do in other healthy habits, that helps the other habits. Like you have a good workout, you're gonna sleep really good. You sleep really good, you have a really good workout, and then the body just gets healthier as a more compounding exponential type factor because of all the healthy habits you're putting together. So again, I was putting little habits together of taking out bad foods, replacing them with something else, setting up kind of a couple different go-to random rotating breakfasts, right? That are high protein, um, little to no sugar and stuff like that, and little by little, just changing little habits that made me um, better and better and better. I have videos about those different things throughout the last couple of years as well for you. But for now, the point is, I started with a couple habits and then slowly added to those habits more and more. And then, my wife and kids were used to a certain lifestyle, and they kind of started slowly mixing in too, which is nice. I help them, and they help me. It's one, happy family sort of thing, being more healthy and fit together. But basically, starting out growing up and into my I was fit, in high school, fit in the Marines because I was able to do things to counterbalance those things in my early 20s. By the time you hit your mid 30s and especially 40, you can't do those things anymore to keep that weight off. You do have to eat well and you do have to keep moving. Those are things that I took for granted and definitely ignored those details early on. Had I not, I would have been in phenomenal shape in my early 20s. But you can't look at it like that. It's the fact that I turned it around, but also learned. Because again, why would I change my habits if I'm working at Wendy's, eating the Wendy's, but I'm still in shape? Why would I change? Looking back, you see the writing on the wall. It was all going to come out one day, and then boom, before you know it, I got to 262 at one point. That was the heaviest I've ever been, and that was like, holy cow, we gotta fix this. I did ride at 230, 240 for a long time. Also terrible. Now I'm at 185, solid, staying good. But the point is, it started off with um, some small changes, small changes that slowly added up. So that's kind of in a nutshell, the short version, if you will, uh, of going from fit to fat to fit again. But again, it's the factors you grew up with that said, well, I'm not that bad out of shape, or I'm in decent shape in this. Why change? Because one day it will bite you. It will get you, and if you don't take care of it, it'll only get worse. I've run into people from my high school time frame that are frankly they need some work, and I don't know how to tell them without being too blunt, I guess. But I'm hoping to help them one day too. I hope this will help you, because my whole goal is for you to change what you're doing, um, stop eating the processed foods, and kind of realize what it will do to your body over the long term. And if you do feel like, all right, this is a quote from Brian Johnson, the longevity guy that started Blueprint. Some people say, how long do you want to do this for? He goes, well, I ask myself the question, do I want to be here tomorrow? The answer is yes. Then I want to keep going. So if you are out of shape right now and you say, I want to be here tomorrow, will start acting like it. You need to start changing your habits today to start fixing that. If you want help with that, reach out. I will definitely help coach you. But until then, start small habits changes now. Hope you liked my story. Hope this helps you, because this is something that I was kind of wanting to put together for a long time. Again, going from the fit to fat to fit again is kind of what a lot of my millennial uh, peers, there we go, have been doing. So if you look at anyone that's born from 80 to 95, I think this is what the millennial range is. I was born in 85, so I'm right in the elder-ish side of the millennial group. A lot of us, we're hardcore partiers back in the day. We always went to the bar. If you're going to someone's house, you always brought a case of beer with you. But now a lot of people are quitting drinking. A lot of people are changing. The news is saying, "Oh, look at because Gen Z isn't drinking that much, numbers are down." Well, you got to think millennials too, quite a bit. A lot of us have reduced drinking or quit drinking completely, and has really put the emphasis on the health. Not everyone has, but I think everyone should. It's crazy to say that, because back in the day I would have started a brewery, the complete opposite of what I'm doing now. But at the time, it was definitely um, something I wanted to do, and now everyone else has kind of really shifted. So I hope you can too, for the sake of your health. And I think you have to ask yourself the question: do I want to be here tomorrow? If that's the case, then yes, you need to start changing habits now. And if this video helped you, leave a comment, like it, subscribe to the channel if you could, please. It does help me, it helps the channel. And I want to make sure I'm bringing you the best information I can all the time. And of course, please follow my affiliate, Jocko Fuel, that does help the channel as well. Thanks for listening.